Good morning everyone. Welcome to today's English class. Today let's discuss the fifth lesson, Home Alone. Okay, look at your textbook. It was a dark and stormy night. I was alone at home in bed when I saw a scary shadow of a figure at my window. "Who's there?" I shouted. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning followed by a clap of thunder. It was a dark and stormy night. Stormy means violent. Okay, so in this story is discussed about a boy. He was alone in the house. Okay, and he feel very afraid that night. Okay, then how he feel or how did he feel afraidness or frightness? That is discussing in the mainly discussing in this story. So the day it was a very dark and stormy night. So that night was very dark and stormy. That means violent night. And I was alone at home in bed. I was means the boy. The boy was alone at home. Was alone. Okay. And was alone home in bed. So when I saw a scary shadow of a figure at my window. So the boy was alone at the home and he feel very afraidness. We know that we are alone in home, so we feel very afraid. So the boy was alone at home in bed. That means he want to sleep. Okay, so he saw a scary shadow. Scary means frightened. Okay, frightening. Scary meaning frightening. A frightening shadow of a figure. That means an image at my window. So, the boy saw a scary image or scary shadow at the window of his home. Okay. "Who's there?" I shouted. So, the boy shouted, "Who's there? Who's that?" Okay. So, he asked that. "Who's there?" Suddenly, very soon, there was a flash of lightning. Flash means to a bright shine as followed by a clap of thunder. Okay, thundering. So, suddenly the boy asked that who's there. At that time or at that moment, a flash of lightning followed by a clap of thunder. Okay, the next page 38. I saw a lion's face followed by a scary thunderous roar at the window. I felt scared and pulled my blanket over my head. I started to shout for my parents, but then remembered they were at the hospital visiting a sick relative. Then I heard footsteps which were loud at first but then faded away. The grandfather clock struck 12. I went back to bed and tried to sleep but was too scared to do so. After some time passed, I fell asleep finally. I did not know when my parents came back. I woke up the next morning and narrated the whole incident to my parents. They were shocked and decided not to leave me alone at home in future. Okay, so the boy saw a scary image on the window side and that time a flash of lightning and also a thundering sound is there. So in that time the boy saw a lion face followed by a scary thunderous roar at the window. So at that time the boy saw that image like a lion's face. Okay, the lion's face and scary thunderous. What's this thunderous means? Very loud. Okay, scary, frightened. So like a very fright. So this night was very frightened So it is very afraid. So he was very afraid that night. Okay. So he saw a scary image. That is the lion's face. He saw a lion's image on the window side. So my parents, but then remember. So what he do? He felt scared and he pulled my blanket. He pulled the blanket over his head and he started to shout for the help of his parents. That time he remembered that they were not there and they went to the hospital to visit a sick relative. Then the boy heard the footsteps, the stepping sound. So he heard that time also footsteps which were loud at first. Okay, the sounds were loud at first. Then it became faded. Okay, what is the meaning of faded? Gradually soften and then stop. That means slowly. Okay, and that time the grandfather clock struck 12. We already studied that the word grandfather clock. That is the first clock, very tall. Okay, the clock were very tall and it's the first clock. So the grandfather clock struck 12 that time. And I went back to bed. So he went back to the bed and tried to sleep. Okay, he wanted to try to sleep, but was too scared to do so. He was very scared and want to. He felt no sleeping that time, and he wanted to sleep. Okay, he trying for sleeping. After some time passed, he fell asleep. I did not know when my parents came back. So he did not know when my parents came back. He did not know when his parents came back. I woke up the next morning. So the boy was woke up in the next morning and narrated. Narrated means told. So he told all the incident happening the night, in the previous night. So he told everything happened him to the parents. All incident to the parents. And the parents were shocked to hear that, and they decided not to leave me alone at home in future. So the parents, finally the parents decided that not to leave the boy in home. Okay, clear? So this is the story about the home alone. Okay, I hope all of you understood that. So please read the story very carefully. Okay, thank you.